Hola, hola, hola. This is Shantae with Brown Sugar Talk under Black Unicorns. Y'all, this is some gossip. This is some real freaking gossip. Okay, so, listen up. I was looking and I'm like, let me talk about Cain and Abel because, y'all, for real, these people were looking at my resume. So they were looking at my resume. They probably looked at my shows and they saw that I worked on a show called Gospel. Now, y'all see what I'm saying? Listen to how they connect this shit. So when I worked on the show Gospel, it's really gospel. It's about Judas and how he ratted out God. So Judas, in Gospel, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so really, y'all know that Judas didn't know. Like seriously, Judas probably thought that he was just being a patriarch to his, not a patriarch, a person that was helping his country or something like that. He probably did not know because he was giving he was giving Jesus to like officials. You see what I'm saying? And so if you look at like all the different places that Judas was documented in the Bible, you will see that every story is different because everybody is going to see it differently. But I do believe that Judas wasn't actually trying to give Jesus to those people. He thought that they needed him for something else. You see what I'm saying? So Judas could have been tricked in some kind of way. Okay? So Judas could have been tricked, and then therefore he tricked somebody else too. You see? So it's not always, this is what I'm trying to think. Even the story of Mary Magdalene. After going through everything I went through, I'm thinking that really those were rumors. Like, was she really who they said that she was? And if you think about the evil of men and how they think, and even the evil of women, you know what I'm saying? And jealousy and envy and all these different things. Because why did, after all that stuff she went through, why is now she just always with Christ? She was probably already with Christ, and it was probably ancient story of her passion. You see what I'm saying? From Egypt. And it could have been being repeated with the rumors and all these different things. Because maybe the men took her. Maybe she wasn't a person that gave herself away. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, in this whole situation, I told you I live with a man or whatever. And he also used to call us like a hoot. He'd be like, Hooters. And it's just a joke. You see what I'm saying? It's just a joke. Nothing to do with the Bible. It'll just be like, just the same when he say, I kill you, But he'll be like, Hooters. Hooters. Like you would do something like, you Hooters. Like you Judas. Okay? So, why would somebody else think that they were a Judas? Or why would you think that you had to be Judas? You see what I'm saying? But I'm thinking with Judas, he truly did not know. He did not freaking know at all. And I'm thinking because if he didn't know, if he knew, he would have never felt bad about what happened. Because Judas actually went back to give the money back. That he got the money back for turning him in. He didn't even want to keep the money. So that's the whole power of, and think about this now. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all this stuff is all in the Bible. This is the police. Because people are they are entranced in thinking that when policemen do things that they are okay, like it's actually right. Some people are like stuck in it. Like it's like this is patriotism. That's what I was thinking. Judas had patriotism. That's what I'm thinking. But it's like they so stuck in thinking that what the police are doing is right. And it's not right at all. Like it's not right. The way that you live in your life is not right. I'm going to tell y'all something else. It's about the church too. What the church does is not right. If you think about all the people that they condemn and leave out of the church, it is ridiculous. It's a lot of stuff now that I feel is just not right. It's not connected. And so what's happening is it's a coming to of Jesus. Seriously. Because you have to think about the people who torment and go after certain people for certain things. Some people will even be upset with you, and that's when I'm going to get to Cain and Abel. Because some people will get upset with you because they are upset of how other people love you. And I've been in those situations too. I've been in the Cain and Abel situation, and I did not want to kill the other person. I did not want to hurt the other person. I just thought, man, something wrong with these people. They don't see my value. You see what I'm saying? Why would you think that it would be your brother or your sister or your friend? It won't be them. It's the people that are actually causing the situation. And I know it's a meme out there. It's about the ants. It's 100 red ants. It's 100 black ants. And at first they living in harmony. They don't have anything against each other. And then somebody come and shake up the bottom. And they empty the ants out, and then the ants go to war. They didn't even have a reason to fight. But somebody shook up the bottle and caused turmoil. And then emptied the ants out, and now they want to kill each other. You see what I'm saying? So again, it's just like Bible stories repeated. That's all it is. So Judas is actually an innocent person, and he ended up persecuting himself because of the guilt. And the whole thing is, he didn't even really need to persecute himself. The people that actually need to be extradited or persecuted were the people that were causing the issues. You see what I'm saying? So again, I'm telling y'all, seriously, I think the cops in the church, like, this is just the same stuff over and over again. I was attacked by preachers, and they don't even know me. You don't have a clue about me or who I am or anything. And they continuously, if they get something wrong, they would then continuously find another way to mistreat me. Misogyny, the sexism. You see what I'm saying? Because I couldn't be as anointed as they are. Or God couldn't be a woman. And I'm not saying I'm God. But what I'm saying is, that's what it is. God couldn't be a woman. That's exactly what they want. That they want something to be so much like them when everything already is. That's why you don't extradite. Like, that's why you don't, I'm sorry, not extradite, but that's why you don't deplete yourself from having male and female energy. You see what I'm saying? If you have any male, or if you're a male, you have feminine energy. If you're a female, you have male energy. And you must embrace those things because it is a duality. It's not something that lives on its own. You cannot define your male energy. You cannot define your female energy. Because I myself could find a man that is just as much like me as I am like me. So that's why you have to start to search for yourself in other people. And some people will say that this is, I heard some people will say, well, this is because you know, this is all about you and yourself. Well, the best way to know yourself is by seeing other humans. That's the best way to start to love yourself. It's by seeing those things in other humans. But when you want something to be absolute, you see what I'm saying? That's why absolute is in math. If you want something to be absolute, then you are not thinking correctly because you can't live in absolution. You see, even in communities that are far away, they still have other people that are like them. They have a generation. But then think about them their grandmother have children and then they isolate themselves from everybody else. Why would you have children and then isolate yourself? That's not, it makes no sense. You still have to learn from the next generation. People need people. And not every time is a person going to be born and it's like, oh my God, this is like, that's what happened. No, that's not life. So it's like, really, I'm serious. Like, y'all actually have to start to look outside of who you are and what it is that you have inside of what you have. Because if not, that's what it is. That's the death. It's because you look at another person and you see color, you see hair, you see shoes, you see clothes, you see wealth, you see all these different things. But then you look at yourself and you feel like you're inadequate and you are not close to being inadequate. Not at all. Because again, that's just a visualization of what the world has created. That is not who you are. That is not your soul. That is not the content of you. So that's why it's like where I'm just like, yeah, this shit is real. And the reason why we interpret it wrong, and it's actually being interpreted wrong, because this is earth. Like, we are living, we are moving, we are beyond Being, see, like right now I feel that likeness, but it's like we beyond being. And so that's why you have to start to internalize how to help you, because that's the only way then you will be able to see the rest of the world. Now, if you out here telling everybody how to help themselves, none of that is true of what you're saying, because you haven't actually absolved yourself. You have to go through your sins. You have to go through your perfections. You have to go through your imperfections. You have to go through your flaws. You got to go through everything for you, because you have to be right with it. It's no sense in going to the priest and telling the priest, I did this, that, and the other, because what's the point? So what? Did you absolve that with you? You can't have somebody else give you a prescription to absolve yourself. You have to absolve you. You have to love you. So that's all I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, it's just a repeating of over and over and over again. So again, Judas was like mentioned in the Bible. Let's go with Judas. So it say, the gospel of Matthew 26:15 says that Judas committed the betrayal in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. Look, now y'all know the stories too. Listen, you know the men that kill themselves for religion or for Muslims is like usually the poorest people, because they think that these men are going to actually help their families if they die. And 9 times out of 10, what they saying is they don't even help the families. So these men are manipulators. You see, they puppet masters. They pulling the strings. And so these men will actually go blow themselves up, and their families are left still being poor. Another generation of people being poor. When in their community, usually it's a poor class and it's just an upper class. There's no middle class. So these people don't even have a chance of trying to get out of the dirt. Y'all hearing what I'm saying? Okay, so let's look at it again. Let's look at the next one. The next one is the Gospel of Luke 22:3 and the Gospel of John 13:27 suggests that he was possessed by Satan. I don't think that's it. I mean, you could say he was possessed by Satan, and maybe that is his patriotism, but I really do believe that he thought he was helping as opposed to hurting. So I don't think that he looked at it the same way. I don't think he saw the innocence of Jesus. And if so many people around him saying all these awful things, why wouldn't he believe that? You see what I'm saying? Because that's a situation of, what is this thing? Like when they bully, but it's a situation of a mob situation. You see what I'm saying? So again, if he don't have his own mind, depending on what time they growing up in, that's why I'm like, I don't think Judas really wanted to do that. I don't think that was his point. Then let me tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna get there. So, according to 27:110, after learning that Jesus was to, I was gonna say Jesus, after Jesus was to be crucified, Judas attempted to return the money he had been paid for his betrayal to the chief priest and committed suicide by hanging. The priest used the money to buy a field to bury strangers in, which was called the Field of Blood, because it had been bought with blood money. These is blood shoes. You see? That's why I tell y'all don't be hurting me. Y'all, we walk the earth every day. I'm telling you, and just repeating the Bible. Cardi B, man. I told her that girl got God in her. Y'all think it's a joke? You think it's a joke? I'm telling you. The book of Acts 1:18 quotes Peter as saying that Judas used the money to buy the field himself, and he fell headlong, burst asunder in the midst, and the bowels gushed out. His place among the 12 apostles was later filled by Matthias. So they even took his position from him because he snitched. Y'all see what that? Y'all see snitches get stitches. And what he did, he didn't snitch on somebody that wasn't innocent. He snitched on the person that was actually innocent, an innocent person, and he sent people after him. And he was an innocent man. Y'all understanding what it is? Y'all understanding what it is? Because if you're not understanding what it is, listen to the stories. Now, the part that's finna kill y'all right here. When I told y'all these people were about to die, my son say, Mom, what do you mean by they're about to die? I say they dying. They dying like they not coming back to earth. And that is the truth. Like it is like because you keep going after something and you know that there's nothing for you to go after. You understand what I'm saying? You're going after an innocent person. And you know that there's nothing for you to, and it's no, you know that this person never did anything to you. And you keep going, like you just gonna keep going. You gonna keep hounding. You gonna keep Cecil Hall. I said, you gonna keep doing that and you see that I was abused? He said, yeah. He about to die. Like, I'm not saying y'all gotta go kill him. I'm just telling you that his life is empty. He has nothing else left after this. He is a son of Cain. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. It's like, and I didn't want to tell y'all because that is basically sort of what made me kind of break down a little bit too. And this was before I knew Cecil. I didn't even know Cecil. I was trying to tell y'all that these people were trying to hurt me. And nobody wanted to listen to me. And they actually came to hurt me. And I'm talking about with a vengeance, like I actually did something to them. No, love. No. These are the Bible stories. And it's like come to pass. And I think it's so that y'all start to understand that this is truth. That like this is real. I don't read the Quran. I don't know how this even relates to the Quran, but usually all these stories are just repeated. The scrolls. And it's just the way we start to see them. Like I told y'all that one guy on the TED Talk when he realized that David, and it could be, all this stuff could be interpreted so incorrectly because they stole the scrolls. And they didn't know the person that was interpreting them. So it's almost like that's the same thing that happened with me. My stories were stolen and y'all been trying to reinterpret the stories like they scrolls or something. No, you not even speaking the same language as me. And that's why the Bible could totally be incorrect. The stories could be totally, some of that stuff could be like it could be wrong. It could be wrong, written wrong or whatever. Because like I said, if you think about that in the scrolls, which one is it? Oh yeah, when the guy was talking about, and it's a TED Talk, y'all, I'm gonna find it too. But he was talking about David and Goliath. And he say David was let me write this down, sorry. No, to put it on there. But he say David was the one that needed help. Because Goliath, man, it's my story too, you know, because them witches, they was little. You see what I'm saying? All of them. David and Goliath. TED Talk. Anyway, so listen. You got David and Goliath. And Goliath is actually the one with the issue because Goliath will be actually considered disabled. Or he will be considered a person that did not have enough sense to know what was going on for real. And so David and the other people could have actually been bullying Goliath. You see what I'm saying? Because Goliath had a lot of issues. He was taller. I think they said something about his face. I don't know. The man will break it down to you about all the issues, the medical issues that Goliath actually had. And then David takes out a slingshot and kills him. When he probably didn't even have to kill him at all. Goliath probably didn't even have the sense enough or the brain power to even know that he was being confronted in that sort of way. And depending on how Goliath was even raised, you see what I'm saying? It's like so many different things that can be said about this situation. And again, that's a cop and a black man. You see what I'm saying? You see how they kept changing the growth of the black man? And it's like instead of us having a Cro-Magnon, we need to have the same black face. It just had a different, you know what I'm saying, just a different years above because the black man really did not change. But they kept changing the stereotype. They were branding the black man. Because at first he was a Sambo when he was a slave. He was too stupid. And then when he became free, he was then a savage. And they just kept that same perpetuation going on and on and on, right? Now he's a killer. Now he's a thief and he a liar. As soon as you see him, you gotta shoot him. It's not the truth. So the cops are actually David and the black men have become a Goliath. I'm telling you, when you listen to the TED Talk, you'll be like, yeah, that makes more sense than this story because all of those people that were there were just like David. And Goliath is the oddball that's out. And when the man started telling you all the illnesses that Goliath could have had, you'll be like, man, that makes so much more sense than what it is that we saying. Because remember, they were stolen. And then later on interpreted into something else. I'm not joking. I ain't playing. Okay, so Cain, the firstborn, was a farmer, and his brother Abel was a shepherd. The brothers made sacrifices to God, each of his own produce. But God favored Abel's sacrifice instead of Cain's. Cain then murdered Abel, whereupon Yahweh punished by Cain by condemning him to a life of wandering. So, if he condemned to a life of wandering, right? This also says that Cain lived for 730 years. Like a fucking vampire. And he created children to spread evil everywhere. His wife's name was Awa. Let me tell y'all where this story might come from too. You got the Odyssey. I know, man, I be all over the place. I'm serious. But you got the Odyssey and you got the story of Zeus and Hera. And I had to teach Blake about this too. I was like, Hera was wrong because Hera was jealous of what Zeus did to her. So what Hera would do is she would punish Hercules on Earth, right? Because she was upset that Zeus was actually sleeping around. Because she couldn't take the pain out on Zeus. She took it out on her children. That's a lot of what women to do today too. It'll be like, instead of them taking the pain out on, and they can't take it out on the other woman's child, so they take it out on his seed that's in front of them. So instead of them actually giving their children anything, they'll take that pain out onto the child. And it's like, that's not something that you should do. So it's like so many different stories that we know, and it's actually being repeated over and over and over and over again. So Cain and Abel, that's why Cain is dying. Cain has to die. Like, it's like that's the end of it for him. And I think that's why they continuously keep trying to find or falsely accuse people of different things. And not actually repenting for falsely accusing anybody. They'll just sit there and act like they didn't even, like they don't care. Like they don't even know that they did it. They'll try to talk over you. They'll try, and when you try to tell them, they'll try to talk over you. They'll act like they don't remember. Their face don't even change. It's like they don't have any empathy, sympathy, anything. They know that they did something wrong to you, and they're just sitting there like they didn't do anything. And it's like, but you know you did it. You actually did. Like, it's like they don't have any feelings, anything. You see what I'm saying? And they are only creating this because they knew the stories from school, so they want to be that. They want to be me. But at the same time, they don't know how to interpret what they talking about. So it's a false interpretation. That's why now it has to be cleared up in some kind of way. And it's being told to you every single day in your actions and everything. And y'all out here not listening and not looking at who you are and more worried about what somebody else is. And that's the death right there. Because you're going to be so enthralled. You so caught up in it. You so pushed into it, and you done exhausted yourself on it, and you still keep doing it over and over again. It was a poem left in my classroom by an anonymous person that said that too. You'll work day and night for it, da 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 da. That's a lie, because I already told you, and somebody else said this too. Winners know when to quit. It's not always that you gonna end up with the same result. That's what a winner would know. A winner would know that by comparison, I can only compare myself to me. It's not a joke. I have to be better than I was yesterday. It's so many stories out there where Cain and Abel, where Cain won. I'm sorry, not Cain won, Abel won. Let me tell y'all why. It's another girl. She's Michelle Phan. She went to Nordstrom's and wanted a job or something, a makeup job. Maybe at Macy's, Nordstrom's. I don't know. She went to one of the department stores. And I'm serious, invest in her line, because I stayed with her from the beginning to the end, y'all. I'm serious till now. I haven't been able to buy anything yet. She was so enthralled with makeup. She would just do like the makeup videos. And if you see her videos, they are awesome. Like, she'll do like the devil and the witch. And she'll do costumes and different shit like that. She'll do simple makeup tutorials, all this different stuff. And they just kept telling her no. They just kept telling her she couldn't have a job. It wasn't a job for her. You know, they just, and she knew that it was a job for her. She knew it. She didn't care. She kept doing it. She kept working towards it. And what happens is now she's created her own makeup line, and now she has like a successful makeup line after doing all this YouTube stuff. And you just like every day these stories, and is she not the only one? People have come out with naturality. I remember her. I stayed with her too. Like before she had her baby, she hated her boyfriend. Then he became her husband, and then she had the baby, and they going to the Whole Food markets, all this different stuff. And you just like, whoa, like this is like awesome how they took this and just blew up with it. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like y'all are so caught up in other people. You know, instead of looking at their story as a positive, it's something like, oh my God, look at what they did. Y'all looking at it and it's like, she ain't even, look at her face on that complete, look at her face on her. That ain't even a right recipe. She didn't put her baby in her right. Look at her combing that baby. Her, instead of y'all actually using it to keep people safe or keeping it or making sure that people get somewhere in life or making sure that all of us now have continued growth or whatever, right? Y'all take it and y'all use those things against people to destroy them, to destroy their character, to destroy who they are, to destroy what they're building. When in no way, shape, or form did they show you anything that was negative. And it's like, why would you go there and continuously go there? And people will sit there and make excuses for or try to not be accountable for their actions. It was a lady on TikTok. Her daughter was she's living with a roommate. And the roommate just happens to have, their family happens to have money. And the roommate is now friends with the daughter. The roommate hasn't done anything mean to her daughter. The roommate hasn't done anything wrong to her. Nothing. She offered her a ticket to go home. And she said, well, I don't want her doing that. Why not? That's her friend. If that is her true friend and she's just offered her, she didn't offer her a car accident. She didn't offer her drugs. She didn't offer her to take her to the store and steal with her. She offered her a trip, a safe trip. And if it's anybody out there that would keep her safe, it would probably be this friend. Seriously, I'm not joking. Some people are just like that. She has enough money to help her get home. And that's all she wanted to do. She didn't say she was going to travel with her in a car. She didn't say that she was going to put her in danger anyway. She said she was going to give her a plane ticket. She didn't set her up with a stranger. She didn't tell her to go to somebody else's house and pick. You see what I'm saying? She gave her a plane ticket to go home. And this woman actually found something wrong with that. Like her daughter couldn't have any gifts. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's the presence of you. If you raised a good person and this good person found another good person and they both continue to be friends for the rest of their life, what is wrong with that? That is her friend. But this woman actually took the time to find something that was convicting of that. Children of Cain. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. This stuff is not, it's like it's already written. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Anyway, so I try to put the TED Talk below about the David and Goliath story because it is very interesting. And seriously, start to look at what you know. Look at the stories you know. You don't have to go and research new stories. You don't have to become some kind of some kind of guru. No, you just got to start looking at the enemies that you have in your life. And it's because all that is stories are being repeated. There are only about, I looked it up too, because I was going to research it for a minute, about the people who are murderers in the Bible. Like, because that's like the worst thing you could probably do. It's only probably about 15 or 16 murderers in the Bible. And I'm pretty sure if we look at the stories that we will find them somewhere today. It's not even a joke. It's not a joke. It's true. And it's like, what y'all have to do now is just like, look at how you interpreting the stories. Look at how you working in the church. Look at how the cops are working inside of the community. For y'all to say that this country is based on this word Christianity, I don't even think that that's true. Like, I don't think that any of these things that we separate ourselves for is true. And so that's the other enemy that we have. We keep thinking that we are divided in some way, and we not. It's not a division. And the other thing is just because you are recognized as being a certain thing, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, it's not for a division. It's for celebration. Italian, it's not for persecution. It's for celebration. Stop looking at black people and persecuting them for being black. We can't change the fucking color of our skin. We cannot. Cain, the children of Cain. That's why it's so easy for them to drop those handcuffs when they say they can't kill another black person. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because then they'll say, well, we're gonna protect ourselves. Protect you from what? Most people don't even want you in their life or in a vicinity or their space, let alone saying that you can't protect us from something. It's not protection. Most people don't even want to talk to y'all asses. We don't want to talk to you. Nobody want to actually call the fucking police. I'm so serious. Y'all so fucking hateful. I'm serious. Y'all dumb. Don't nobody want to call you. So why would you think that every time you take... And then this is the other thing. You put yourself in danger. If you think that this person has an issue or something like that, how about you wait before you pull your gun, follow them, and then really see? Y'all will pull a person over and then say that you in danger. That shit don't make no fucking sense at all. You will pull a man over and then say that you are in danger. You didn't even have to pull him over. Y'all understanding what I'm saying? You have not seen this man commit not one crime. And you will pull a black man over and then continuously try to say that you were the person that was the victim. That is the story of Cain. Y'all keep thinking it's a joke. This is every day is the end of days. That's why it's not even like where you, and then when they say the locust, that's what people come back as. Your soul will return, but you will return as something else. Like, you're not going to return as a human being if you out here doing all this shit. That's all your life is telling you. That's all it's teaching you. That's why he killed himself. He wanted to start over. And the blood money, it was used to bury strangers, people that people did not know. Why would they come to a land that they didn't know and die there? With no attachments or anything. That does not mean that they were wrong. That they could have been running from something. They could have been good people in a bad place. Y'all understand it now? And you still out here, still caught up in fucking following people and not let... What you holding me for? Anyway, Shantae Brown Sugar Talk under Black Unicorns. Please, I'm telling you, look at what you know. And if you don't understand something, listen. Go to the back of the Bible. If you're going to use the Bible or the Quran, you go back there and you look at what it is that's been happening in your life. And you will find a story that goes with whatever was happening in your life. And it'll start to tell you what it is that they're talking about. And when you look at it, don't look at it with negativity. Look at it with positivity. If it hurts your feelings, do it again. Look at it with positivity and not negativity. Focus on you.